Hi everybody, I'm Fraz. You know, I love being a Transformers fan, but I just don't think there was any Transformers videos to be found on YouTube. Okay, maybe there's a couple, but you know, with that being said, I'm here to give only the freshest of reviews, the scarcest pharmacy exclusives, the newest releases, not just, you know, random robots that I happen to have and wanted to talk about. Where better to start a Transformers review channel than the dutiful dad of Transformers, G1 Optimus Prime. Not like the vintage one, but you know, the one they reissued a couple years ago. He's still very nice though. What is there to be said about this boxy little truck mode? He certainly feels very nice between his metal feet and teats, and his tires are either rubber or some kind of rubber adjacent substance. He has a wonderful touchability. And that's about it. He tops his mitts in his tits, and they fit in there quite snugly. No trailer, but I think I'm okay with that, if only for storage reasons. You can even do this. I mean, you could in theory, but obviously you never. That transformation is the primordial template upon which all truck Optimuses would be built. You know, flip the arms out, fold the legs down, flip the head up, and buddy, you got yourself an Optimus Prime. Stickers are a bit sloppy, but that's a case of human error. Please don't make me apply stickers. Sloppy sticks aside, he's very iconic. As far as posability goes, he's pretty dated by today's standards, but probably blew most other Transformers of the time away. He's got arms and elbows and legs and toes and even knees. You can even kind of get wrist swivels, but it is cheating. All his joints feel great too. Listen to those clicks. Perfection. In terms of accessories, he comes with his compulsory ion blaster and this other gun. That's weird. It's pretty cool looking, but I can't really think of any other Optimus that comes with this. Or maybe the other one's the Ion Blaster. Honestly, they look almost completely identical. They fit very snugly into his little hands. I kind of wish his guns had a little peg on the back there, the same size as those fist holes. I love it when the Transformer's body physically turns into his weapons. I don't know why, I just think it's neat. If you're a Transformers fan, you at least owe it to yourself to mess around with this toy in some fashion. He's a legend for a reason. He's an absolute icon, and he is to be treasured and protected at any cost. From the first Optimus Prime to my first Optimus Prime. Honestly, this guy's a lot to answer for getting me into this hobby in the first place. He's rocking basically the same boxy truck front as G1 Optimus Prime, but this time looking a little bit more science fiction than road ready. But otherwise, he's more or less the same. He even comes with trailer this time. Whether you like it or not, this thing does not come off. He'll move his cab independently though, so he can make those tight corners. Look at all those lovely sculpted details. This is one of my favorite things about Transformers toys. I love poring over all the little details to really appreciate the sculpting work that went into making this guy. His cab is even roomy enough to fit a few Legends class figures. Titans Return Bumblebee in particular spent a lot of time vibing out back there. B isn't the only passenger though. Pop open the slightly bulgy cab and say hello to Apex, complete with battle damage, or perhaps red cupcake damage. The little Apex here is strangely the only one to bear the wounds of these wars, despite the rest of the Titan Masters being routinely horked down Ripticon's throat. Either way, he's a cute little guy. Lots of pegs for him to hang out on in this beast of a big rig. You can even get some more Titan Masters involved if he's feeling lonely. A particularly brave one could even hang out on this little side gun. Maybe you enjoy this tiny Titan playtime so much you wish there was more room. Well, in that case, okay, look, I know it's not the most convincing base mode, but look at all the fun those little guys are having. His back ramps here can connect to the other Titans Return leaders and Titans like Trypticon and Fortress Maximus, and maybe Omega Supreme, I don't know. Grab a couple of these guys and you got an Autobot city on your hands. Now this is a big boy. G1 Optimus Prime looks positively puny compared to this behemoth. The transformation is great fun. I particularly like slapping the side panels around to form his calves. And what calves? These things should be called steers. A particularly buff and badass bossbot in general. Between these bulging buys and big guns, he's certainly got a formidable presence. Little Apex here isn't really contributing much in this mode. His cute little Orion Pax face is great, but in the actual robot mode, it's just completely covered up by this giant helmet. All you can really see are his two little blue eyes. Where's Apex in here? It's a real shame considering all the fun he can get up to in the other modes. His articulation is fine, but not great. He desperately needs a waist swivel, and some ankle tilts could really help with his stability, considering his feet are kind of iffy. But even with his slightly stiff posture, I can't help but love this guy. He started me collecting as an adult, and no matter how many primes I get, this guy will always have a special place in my heart. Now for some more recent fares, check out this big weird space fire truck. Those of you of a certain age can probably hear that absolute earworm of the theme song at this very moment. Being from Siege, he's rife with guns that can be snazzed up with fire blasts. I love these things. I hope Transformers are compatible with them for as long as I keep collecting, frankly. Unlike the last guy, his cab actually can come off, but it doesn't do him any favors. The paint is really nice, especially that pearly white stripe on the front of the cab. Only place that's lacking is the emergency lights. Come on! And I thought the last Prime was chunky. This is a thick Prime. Siege really did have some of the best sculpted detail work in the entire Transformers toy line. Come on, look at those pec windows. With these little arm parts that can help him more closely resemble the original toy, but I kind of prefer him without. He's nice and posable. He's got those vital swivel and tilts I was opining for earlier. If you're wondering what became of the trailer, well, hot damn, check him out. This is one of the most heavily armed Optimuses you'll see outside of Dark of the Moon. His massive head crest is giving me serious Gao Gai Gar vibes. These massive guns and huge wings with fake tires are a hell of a look. Definitely one of the more iconic super modes that Optimus has ever had in my opinion. Overall, this is just one of the best Optimus designs. All the great posability from the smaller robot mode carries over. He even has these weird fold out heel spurs, but he doesn't really need them. His feet are massive as it is. He can even fold up these big guns to unhinder his arm posability. Aw, isn't he precious? Some more bite-sized Optimus than we're used to, coming as he does from the deluxe class. No trailer hitch to be found, which is not a big deal, since at this scale, nothing would fit in his trailer besides Micromasters, I guess. Quite a big grill he's got. It would have been nice if this little plow part were painted silver like the rest of it. But otherwise, his paint is quite nice. He's even got his toe lights colored. That's just about all there is to say about this truck mode, though. He can roll around, which any truck can do. But that's fine, he's a toy truck. That's all he needs to do. That transformation is really not that different from G1 Optimus Prime. Other than a few steps to streamline the whole process, like folding in his ab pieces here and tidying up his forearms. Between those ultra buff proportions and his tiny size, he's definitely a shoo-in for the little buff boy contest. His antennae are certainly small, especially compared to the massive crests we had in the last Optimus. Despite being a wee bit hollow compared to your average Generations offering, he still feels high quality and he poses up a storm. This little gun is nice and detailed, but very small. It can accommodate fire blast effects though, which I've already sung the praises of earlier. Speaking of fire blast, the one he comes with is supposed to fit this little internal matrix. I guess it would have been nice if it could be removed from his chest, but honestly at this size I would have just lost it anyway. Well, that's my first video. Transformers Episode 1 done and dusted. I hope you guys enjoy watching it as much as I did making it. I'm looking to do this as a weekly project, so keep your eyes on this space.